What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override. I'm ready to break the pain for you this week and Dr. Roto. Oh, yeah. If you haven't saw the episode yet, you already know what this is about. This is about the Scott Fish Bowl. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Woo. All right. With the Scott Fish Bowl officially kicking off yesterday and all the drafts taking place other than some of the live drafts that have happened, man, it is wild so far. I'm sitting here stuck in the third round. And man, there's a bunch of dudes. A few guys kind of want to do a podcast afterwards, talk about the draft, maybe rank some of the teams, see how they finish, see if anybody gets it right. That sounds like fun. So, what I want to talk about is I want to introduce the Scott Fish Bowl. I talk about it a lot. I talk about me winning the KISS division. Yeah. He's like, bring the pain. Yeah. Right. So I talk about that. But what I didn't really talk about, of course, I missed the last couple of years. Maybe I could have emailed or did something else to try to get in. But for me, it's kind of one of those, if they want me, if they know me, or if they want to invite me to get me. This year, I was like, hey, man, if you got any free teams open, because I knew that Monday was going to come and there was going to be some people who didn't respond yet. And him and Doc talked about that on Sirius XM Fantasy for a few minutes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to him. I got the invite before I got the email. I swear. I swear. So thank you, Scott Fishbowl, Scott Fish, whoever else who sent the email, who accepted me into the Predator division. Thank you. I ended up being the last team. And when I went into the comments, they were waiting for this dude for a long time. And I'm happy to actually take his place and make this league happy because they've been moving along, but there's been a couple little slow move ups. So, Scott Fishbowl Predator division. If you've been holding up, like this dude literally, he had the clock all last night and then the whole day today. He didn't even make a pick. I made my pick last night at 8 o'clock. He finally just made his pick, right? I'm just like, oh, dude, man, we've been waiting all day. We could have got through. So now they're going to try to push the division, try to at least get the fourth round done. I mean, come on. It's easy to make a pick. But me and the other guys are going kind of wild in there. And we're talking a lot. So, getting to know each other. It's a lot better than it was in Scott Fishbowl 11. This is Scott Fishbowl being 14, and it's the movie theme. So, when I'm sitting there and I'm sitting back and I look at my past competition being like Dave Richards and people like that, and getting the better of them. Now I have this new breed of people that I'm about to get. So I love to be competitive within that. But then after your division is done, you go into a big pool against everybody else with your same team and you try to score as much points. And the last team standing is the Scott Fishbowl champion. Now, what the Scott Fishbowl / let's get that right, on Twitter, X, or Twix, whatever you want to call it, at ScottFish24. That's how you can find your link. And, watch the whole progress of all the teams going on. Everything's updated every single week. It's amazing. It's fun, right? So you also want to head over to at FantasyCares.org. And it's just org, no dot or anything because it's just a Twix name. And hashtag Fantasy Cares. What the Scott Fish Bowl has done, it's the biggest worldwide fantasy football charity in the world. They raise a lot of money for places like Toys for Tots, et cetera, et cetera. All sorts of different kinds of organizations, nonprofits, they raise money for to help them. All these leagues, fantasy dues, they all go to it. So all these captains, all people like me, we all donate money or we find ways. So that's what that's why I'm calling this podcast, is because, I might do a couple podcasts where if you do a donation or something like that, you don't know. I just want to get it out there. So with each podcast I do, or however I want to talk about it, or whatever idea I come up with, I hope that all of you can give. And if you go to FantasyCares.org on Twitter, X, Twix, then you should be able to find it. If you don't have to join a fantasy football league, you could give, right? And they've given out so much money to so many people, and he's done this so long. So it's once again an honor to be part of the Scott Fish Bowl. I gotta admit, I was feeling a little left out here at the end. Wife was kind of making fun of me. She said I was being a crybaby, a whiner, that I was kind of whining. And maybe I was, because I think that at my status, I should be invited back. First and foremost, everybody got to pick divisions and picks. and things like that. I just got shuffled into the 7th pick. So that's actually what I'm going to talk about next. This league is one position per level. So one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end, one kicker. You got 5 flexes and you have 1 super flex. So it's technically, yes, a double quarterback league, 2 quarterback league, super flex league. Some people know what that is, but for the people that don't, it's 2 quarterbacks, or you can start 2 quarterbacks. So that being said, it's also a tight end premium. It's a half point PPR, and tight ends get a whole point extra. So tight ends receptions count as 1.5. Also, receivers also get an extra bonus. But tight ends get a first down bonus. So, a 7-yard catch for a first down could be a 4 or 5 point play now, as opposed to, normally like a 0.7 play in a half point PPR, as opposed to a full point PPR, you'd be like at 1.2. So, that being said, when we're moving along here, you have to think about, are you going to draft tight ends? So really only, Kelsey has gone, and just now Kincaid went. And then, of course, Laporta has been gone. So I'm going to go over my first 3 round picks. So being the 7th overall pick, I was like, okay, I don't think a quarterback's going to make it to me. When it got to me, literally, I had the 3 receivers I wanted. Well, no, one of them got picked before me, CeeDee Lamb. So I had the choice between Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase. Now I was like, okay, if I go Jamar Chase, that means I really should get Joe Burrow. And I said, I wasn't feeling that. That wasn't the feel I wanted for this team. So I went with Tyreek Hill. Because Tyreek's explosive speed, I never have a chance at a player like Tyreek Hill. He's either been kept, or I'm just too far at the back of the drafts because I usually win, or I'm usually in the top 4, literally, every year in most leagues. So that's where kind of, you get that later draft pick. You don't get chances at guys like Tyreek Hill, who, like I said, practically go in the first 5, 6, 7 picks. So I picked him. Now, this is also a 3rd round reversal. So my 3rd round comes back to me faster than normal. So that was really nice. But my next pick, now I was all right. I saw a lot of people out there. I'm looking at a lot of players. And believe me, right now, there's a lot of players left in this league. Like, I literally could pull this up right now. I could tell you guys what's going on. But I took CJ Stroud. Now, at the time, he was one of the better quarterbacks, because practically you're looking at CJ Stroud, Burrow, Goff, and, players like that. Like, I mean, of course, there's Cousins out there. Dak Prescott is out there. He's gone now. But if you wanted a premium, a quarterback that has an offense that's going to have, a lot of points, score a lot of points this year, then you want one of those quarterbacks. I wanted one of those quarterbacks. I knew I wasn't getting Josh Allen, Hurts, Jackson in that first pick. I was fine with that. I'd rather take Tyreek Hill. I ran it back with CJ Stroud. On the 3rd round reversal, I didn't want to pick, and this is probably going to be one of the very few leagues I have him, but I picked Kyren Williams. Now, there's still so much talent out there. Right after I picked, Marvin Harrison Jr. went. Now, somebody in the chat said, why did I go Brock Purdy? I should have went Marvin Harrison Jr. I said, hey, you did what you did because you wanted to build a certain team. And that's what people are doing. For me right now, I've got a nice little blend. Now, when it comes back to my 4th pick, this is where I'm going to have to start looking at either Stephon Diggs, but most likely I might go running back at this point. Now, grabbing a tight end, I will say this. If I get there and someone like Mark Andrews is there, I probably will take Mark Andrews. He's had some health issues over the year, but proven when he's in there, he moves the chains and he scores touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson's literally locked on him. Lamar Jackson had an MVP career last year, did an MVP year. And I mean, his career has been great too. I can't say he wins a Super Bowl. I mean, he is an MVP all time. He's doing great things. But as of right now, after his MVP year, he did it without his best receiver, which is Mark Andrews. Now, Zay Flowers did step up. He stepped in, and that was a big steal for me in a lot of drafts last year, along with Rashee Rice. Now, those 2 picks allowed me at the end of the draft, and that's why you sometimes have to be sharp. But when you have players out there like Puka Nacua, who everybody's avoiding right now, I even avoided him. I took Kyren Williams because I know when the Rams get near those goal lines that, Puka's going to have a big day, but it's more likely Howard Williams will have a 3-touchdown day before either Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. I'm just saying. Hey, I've watched the Rams for a very long time. I'm all LA. So, when I say these things, I mean it. It's because I've saw it. I've watched it. I've watched the game. I've watched every game for the last 40 years of my life. So, that being said, actually, that's funny. Puka Nacua just went in this draft. Now, he went to the Iceman, so we're right at the 12. We're at 312 right now. So, the guy who had the first overall pick before. So, right now, he's on the clock. He's got Christian McCaffrey and Travis Kelce. Next guy's got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Puka Nacua. Then there's Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Mark Andrews. We have Lamar Jackson, Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid. See, they're going for those tight end premiums, right? I get it. Then you got Patrick Mahomes, Garrett Wilson, Travis Etienne, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Marvin Harrison. That's good. That's good. He played perfectly. Tyreek Hill, CJ Stroud, Kyron Williams. That's me. We got Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Caleb Williams, Bijan Robinson, AJ Brown, Brock Purdy for the next team. Then we have Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ooh, I like that team. I really like that team. Jordan Love, Anthony. That rounds out that team. Then we have Anthony Richardson, Saquon Barkley, and Trey McBride. And the last team is Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, which was, of course, the first back-to-back pick. And then, of course, when he got the third-round reversal, he did Jaden Daniels. So he's probably going to be looking for Terry McLaurin. And I just highlighted Terry McLaurin the other day on my Bring the Pain podcast, the Heatastic review at the end, because what was it? Austin Mathers. Austin did that article about, those receivers that are going to break out at the NFC East. And he was one of them, was Terry McLaurin. And that's why I wanted to highlight him. He highlighted a lot of other people in that article. But again, you have to get to drroto.com and use code word doc, and you will get a percentage off of your subscription. All right. I mean, it's a great league. I ran it through. I hope all of you like it. Hey, so far, who's had the fun in the first? You're listening to this. Go to Dr. Roto, come to the X, and let me know which team so far did you like it. Did you like team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4? I'm team 7, right down the line. So without further ado, have a great day, everybody. And always remember to care, and to always remember to donate too, because there's people out there that are not as efficient as us. There's people out there that need help. There's people out there that have circumstances that they out of their control. And for that is what organizations like the Scott Fish Bowl represent. Thank you, Scott, for allowing me back into your league. I will not let you down. I'm going to try to bring the pain to the competition. Have a great day, everybody.